Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my interview with NHS healthcare support workers who secured visa sponsorships. And if you haven't watched the part 1 yet, I will highly recommend you watch that first before coming on this one. I'll link it in the description box. In today's video, my guest will be sharing exactly how he transitioned into healthcare, the eligibility requirements for sponsorship, and the impact sponsorship has had on his immigration status. So if you're hoping to get into the NHS, you don't want to miss this and you would want to watch it to the end so that you get all the information that you would need. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. So what were you doing before getting NHS sponsorship?
All right, I was a door supervisor in the food and hospitality industry. I ensured that I understood who was coming to the building and who was leaving. I had to ensure that people were safe and well treated and accounted for. So that's what things I was doing before I entered into NHS health care and support.
How did you transition into healthcare and secure sponsorship, if you don't mind sharing?
Because of the environment I found myself, I had some basic requirements as to health and care and safety from my previous work as a door supervisor. And I began to see the prospect within the NHS because the NHS consider people from different and diverse backgrounds and professions. So health and care and safety was an introductory part for me I could easily adapt to because again I saw the requirements for the job and had the potentials and tendencies to care for people. So it wasn't much of a big deal. So I went ahead to put in several applications, so many applications in that matter. They were not easy
Can
because
imagine.
each time you had to tweak the applications and all of those. Each time you had to modify the structure of your grammar. So it wasn't easy, but I got successful along the line. And it took me about 16 months before I could secure a permanent job. All right. And that's within that time, I think I had about 70 applications. And in between, I had about, I think, 10 interviews. And I think it was the last of them where I was almost giving up that
Oh my God.
pull through for me. So it wasn't easy, but with that, I could secure my permanent role as a band three. And of course, a few months after, I was fortunate to get a sponsorship from my sponsor.
Wow. So many people have been asking eligibility criteria to have a bantry role. So I thought to ask, was it difficult to meet the eligibility requirements and what are the common criteria that one would need to work in your role?
There are requirements to every job role. Like for the band three, for me, I had to start as a band two. I had to build some level of competence and experience so that I could prepare adequately for the role.
Mhm.
We know the basic requirements, literacy skills, communication skills, and all of other of your soft skills and teamwork and team spirit. And of course, the skills and values are kind of connected directly to the NHS, like your 6 C's that include care and compassion,
That's right.
competence and courage and commitment and things like that. So they have to be part of you. And of course, there has to be enthusiasm, genuine enthusiasm because we're working with different kinds of patients and
Yeah,
different kinds of conditions
that's right.
from mental health to cancer and stuff like that. So it's not just a means to an end. You have to be genuinely enthusiastic and committed to the role that you're going in for.
That's right. So I would love to know, so far, has your sponsorship impact your immigration status and stability in any way? Has it restricted you or how has it been for you?
Yes, a sponsorship is a game changer by every standard because you're in a strange land in a foreign place. So it gives you some ample time in years for
Mm,
you to be mentally stable, financially stable,
mhm.
and it comes with job security. So it goes a long way to giving you some balance, definitely, because when you are running out of time, especially on your visa, there's anxiety. You cannot completely focus on your job.
Absolutely.
And of course, because you're dealing with lives, it's kind of very difficult to create a balance. And also because some people might be having immigration challenges, all right, the COS or the sponsorship gives you some leverage, all right, you can still find your way to still stay legally and to still pursue the job that
Mhm.
you're committed to. So it's a total game changer when you have something like that.
But has it restricted you in any way or has it been more helpful?
Of course, the sponsorship gives you liberty to do things you need to do, like almost every other citizen with legal status. Apart from that, it gives you a sense of fulfillment because in many places, the sponsorship comes not just as a right, but as a proof of competence, a proof of commitment to your job because they don't just come and just give it to you. Sometimes you have to make reference, they have to communicate with your line managers and all of that. So if you are not committed to your job, you might not necessarily be entitled to having a certificate sponsorship. So it gives you some sense of personal fulfillment that yes, you fought your way through this. You didn't just go through corners. You competed on a fair ground and you won. So that is one good thing about having a COS.
Wow, that's so good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to end by asking, what advice do you have for immigrants who want to work in the NHS?
All right. The NHS is a world-class institution. All right. They don't just deal with healthcare. There are different professionals.
Yeah.
There are IT professionals. There are administrative professionals. There are healthcare support workers, nurses and doctors, and other kinds of specialists. So if you feel that you have some prospect working within the NHS, of which you can also even switch from one job to another over a period of time, you can give it a try. Look at what the job requires. Look at what it entails and put in your best shot, and anything good can come out of it. It's a great place to work by every standard. A lot is required from you, from their values, from their code of conduct. All right. As much as a lot is required from you, they also invest in staff development. All right. So you never can. They say there's no knowledge is lost, no matter the kind of knowledge you have. You can always transition from one thing to another, but you don't win. It's a win-win for me anyway because I learn from each person's expertise. I learn from each person's strength and commitment, and I feel included in all of it. So it's if you feel you have something to give and you have the commitment to add value, to work as a team amongst other people of different backgrounds and diversities, then you can give it a chance.
Wow. This is so insightful. Thank you very
All
much,
right.
sir.
Thank you
So
too.
teamwork is like the core of the NHS.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
I'm hoping this conversation has given you real practical insights into securing an NHS job or sponsorship. I share all these real life stories with you so that you learn from people who have been through the process. You've heard how many applications he's made and how many job interviews he's been to before he finally landed one job with the NHS. So if you're serious about getting an NHS job, you have to be consistent. Don't give up, keep trying. Back in the days, you can actually secure your sponsorship before you even start the job. But right now, from what he said, you can hear that you will have to begin first and then they have to be satisfied with your performance. And they'll do all these checks with managers and all this process before you get an interview, before you get sponsorship. It wasn't like that. And to be honest, this is the second person I'm hearing this from. This is like the most recent development so far. In my next video in this series, I'll be sharing with you the common NHS interview questions and answers that got me hired and a few others are hired as well. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comment section what your biggest takeaway was. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I'll be responding. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others who might need it. See you in my next video. Bye.